Yo, yo, what's going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions, where we talk about the different personalities, controversies, storylines, and everything in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I'm your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the flesh as always, and my co host needs no introduction, but he's going to give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the adventurer himself, Mr. Life of the Party, and welcome to our prediction show of Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, Money in the Bank is this Saturday on Peacock, 5 p.m. Pacific time in Toronto, Canada. Can't wait for it.
Yes, and finally a PLE that's actually going to start at a normal time.
Right, it's been so weird, man. Like the past, feels like it's been forever, not since WrestleMania, man. But yeah, we're finally gonna get a
3 months,
live.
yeah.
Yeah, we're finally gonna get a premium live event that will be starting normal time, man. We don't have to wake up early in the morning to watch these things now.
Well, you got to wake up early in the morning. I don't.
Yeah.
But before we get into Money in the Bank, we have to get into one crazy ass episode of SmackDown that took place this past Friday night from Madison Square
The
Garden.
Mecca.
Yes, the Mecca, Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden. It was sold out. The crowd was fucking hot. And one thing I liked about this show was the setup they had for it.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime when WWE comes to Madison Square Garden, especially a live event, it's going to be special, memorable. So
Yeah, it was a big sellout, a big moneymaker. And the way the show started off was you see the arrival of the new Bloodline as Paul Heyman was waiting for them. And then they head out to the ring. But as they're heading out to the ring, you see the screens. And on the screens, you see another car parking right behind the car of the Bloodline. And coming out of that car was Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes looking pissed off, ready for a fight. And a fight they got as they came to the arena, stood face to face with the Bloodline, and the fight was on. They were battling each other all over Madison Square Garden to one point where Kevin Owens actually did a swanton to Tonga Loa through the table, reminiscent of Jeff Hardy at Royal Rumble 2000. So yeah, this battle was going all over the arena
man,
until security eventually broke it all up. And obviously, the security got their asses kicked too in the process, no surprise. And then Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes cut a promo talking about how they're going to be coming for the Bloodline Come Money in the Bank before they were escorted out. The one thing that Cody Rhodes said that really struck a nerve was when he said to Solo, "When I look at you, I don't see a tribal chief. I don't see the head of the table. All I see is a seat filler."
man, oh man.
Yeah, but then the three of them were escorted out of the arena. And then later on that night, we have the tribal chief acknowledgement ceremony featuring all the members of the bloodline, including the newest member, Jacob Fatu. And then each member of the bloodline says, "I acknowledge you, my tribal chief," including Jacob Fatu, Tongaloa, and Tamatonga. But then it is Paul Heyman's turn.
Oh,
And Solo tells him straight up, "I'm only going to give you one chance to live." And then he pulls out the lei that Roman Reigns would always wear. And then he puts it into Heyman's hands and says, "Acknowledge me as your tribal chief." And then he puts his arms out and puts his head down for Paul Heyman to put it on him. And then Paul Heyman says straight up, "Solo, I love you. And I acknowledge that you are not my tribal chief." And the pop he got when he said that is probably one of the biggest pops in the history of Madison Square Garden. Like the Knicks going to the finals probably wasn't even as big of a pop in '94 as this one was.
okay. Now it's close to it though. But look,
I'm
all I
not
see
joking.
was.
I'm not joking, bro.
I mean, how would you know that to be sure anyway? You weren't even there for both of them anyway.
But from hearing the reaction from watching it on TV, you can tell.
I don't know which one was louder, that or the fact that Jalen Brunson was there, which we'll get into later. But
Yeah.
but look, all I saw right there was just pure loyalty at its finest. Looking at that, but that loyalty did cost Paul Heyman later on.
Yeah, that was loyalty, but the look on his face, you could definitely tell that he knew what his fate was going to be. And his fate would be getting a Samoan spike from Solo, and then a top rope headbutt from Jacob Fatu, and then all the members of the Bloodline triple power bombed Heyman through the announce table, reminiscent of the
Damn.
Shield from back in the day.
Right.
Fuck, man.
Damn.
I thought that F5 he took at SummerSlam from Brock 2 years ago was fucking crazy,
But
but
this
this
one was
shit was
bad.
on a whole nother level.
Yeah, this one
Yeah,
was
this
really bad, man.
yeah, he took a beating like I've never seen him take a beating before. Shit.
Crazy.
Shit.
But you got to give him props for that, man. Give him props for that. Not just that, but but before that, dude, like you saw like the look in his face. You saw the you saw how his eyes were, and he has like a 5 o'clock shadow on his face. He looked stressed out. He looked stressed out ever since Roman's been gone. That whole segment was special. That segment hit differently, and looking from the outside, you know that Roman Reigns is coming back from a vengeance. I tweeted that on our Twitter page, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, his comeback is going to be bigger than ever now.
Yeah, when Roman comes back, he's gonna be the biggest babyface in the whole company. Even more than Cody.
Crazy. I'm telling you right now, man. Like that segment was just, man. That segment was emotional. If it's one word, I want to put it down. But just give him mad props for taking that bump, dude. Through the announce table like that. Damn.
I'll say this is like definitely one of the greatest showings of loyalty I've ever seen from Paul Heyman. And I feel like Paul Heyman in that segment not only turned himself babyface, he also turned Roman Reigns babyface. If Roman Reigns wasn't a babyface
Yeah.
before, he's definitely one after this all went down.
And I'm trying to look back, in wrestling where somebody remained like loyalty was just unmatched to this. I don't know. I think you could compare this to Miss Elizabeth remaining loyal to Randy Savage.
Eventually, she got sick of his shit, though.
Yeah, but still.
That's why after WrestleMania 5, she was with Hogan instead of him. All right, but anyway, yo, this segment was fucking nuts. It was crazy, and it was a big success because this segment had over 60 million views.
Man. I watched it live, and it was crazy.
Oh. Yeah, despite all the bullshit going on during SmackDown where the picture kept getting blacked out and all that, and shit kept getting edited out.
I saw that. I wasn't the only one?
No, that happened to all the U.S. markets for SmackDown this week. Everywhere in the U.S., they had that same problem.
Crazy. Because I was watching on Hulu.
Yeah, it was all because of Fox. Like, Fox bleeped out an early part of the show when, like, Nia Jax was walking to the ring because, like, some little kid was flipping her the middle finger. So that's why they bleeped that out. And then later on, when Tyrese Haliburton came out with Logan Paul, the douchebag fuck, they blacked out the screen because of the fact that they were chanting "fuck the Pacers."
I heard that they're getting tired of bleeping it out.
We're tired of them bleeping it out. They ruined the whole damn show. They did the same thing earlier this year in another episode when The Rock had that one segment with the whole Bloodline.
Yeah, I know, but it's just been reported now that they're actually getting tired of Fox of bleeping everything out, though.
Yeah, look, SmackDown was a great show on Friday, especially that main event segment. But yeah, Fox really fucked with that show big time. They really hurt the quality of it a lot. I still enjoyed it despite that. But yeah, they cannot get off of Fox soon enough.
I know, man. Like, no offense to Fox, though, but it's ruining everything.
Yeah, they ruined the whole damn show. They've been ruining the show for a long time with their freaking antics.
Right. But you know what? I want to ask you this. What did you thought about the Tyrese Haliburton and Jalen Brunson? Were you thinking Game 8? I know you're traumatized, Kurt.
I'm fine. I will admit the playoffs sucked really hard after the second round when the Knicks got eliminated. But the Pacers got their karma because they got swept in the conference finals. Yeah, Tyrese Haliburton, that was a move I would expect nothing less from the douchebag fuck Logan Paul to do, considering that they were in the Garden. And yeah, I'm just pissed off that I missed the fuck the Pacers chant because fucking Fox had to ruin it.
Man.
But despite that, I did get a happy ending as Logan Paul was pinned in the triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match by LA Knight, which means LA Knight will now be a part of Money in the Bank. And then afterwards, Tyrese Haliburton and Logan Paul tried to double team LA Knight with the brass knucks, but to back him up was Jalen Brunson with the chair, and their punk asses ran away.
Well, as you expected. Oh man.
Nah, but I will say Jalen Brunson got a big pop, no doubt about it. But
Of
but the
course.
pop when Heyman said "You are not my tribal chief," I think that one topped it.
Oh, of course. No doubt. But overall, this was a very good episode. It was in the garden. I love, like I said again, I love when the WWE comes to the garden, and it makes it feel special. And you know the episode is going to be special, and that episode was special.
Yeah, that energy was great. There is nothing like shows in Madison Square Garden. It's so crazy that of all the times I've been in Madison Square Garden, I've never once been to a televised show.
Oh man,
Every time I've gotten to Madison Square Garden for a WWE show, it's always been a house show.
just house shows got you.
Yeah, and my first one was actually in the summer of '95, 2 weeks before SummerSlam, and the marquee match was Diesel and Shawn Michaels against Mabel and Mo. And you know what's funny? Diesel and Shawn Michaels that night came out to the old school Batman song, the one from Adam West.
Really?
They were playing off of the fact at the time that they were Batman and Robin. So before they came out, they played the Batman theme from back then.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was a fun night. Yeah, I got my Razor Ramon shirt and my
Cool.
Razor Ramon necklace too. Yeah, it was a good time.
Okay.
Better than the SummerSlam 2 weeks later.
Well, man, we're not going to get into that. Crazy episode of SmackDown, but then things got a little more, exciting and crazier the following Monday on Raw.
Yes, on Monday on Raw, we had the furthering along of the Wyatt Sicks storyline. As at the beginning of the show, as Chad Gable came out to interrupt Jey Uso when he was cutting a promo, the lights went out again. Chad Gable tries to walk away from one side of the arena, but one of the Wyatt Six is waiting there. Then he tries to walk through the back, and they're waiting there. Then he walks to the other side. Another one of them is waiting right there for him. So it's to the point where he has to pretty much leave through the crowd.
Sheesh.
Motherfuckers are coming for him.
I know.
And yes, right after all this happened later on in the night, Michael Cole was presented with another videotape about the whole Wyatt Six that would end up playing later on in the show. And then we would have another sit-down interview between Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas. Another crazy-ass, creepy-ass, but very interesting interview.
Yeah. Like I said, man, let's hope this all pays off. They're headed to the right direction, so it's the timing.
Yeah, basically, Bo Dallas was talking about how we're all a family and they came willingly, not forcefully, and that there's false prophets out there like belittling their own family for their own gain and for their own pleasure. And he also says like how they need to pay for their sins. And this is kind of referring to Chad Gable when you really think about it.
That is an interesting take.
Yeah, because if you think about like what Chad Gable was doing to Alpha Academy the last few weeks, and considering that they got to him first, yeah, it seems like he was main target.
Yeah. And again, this is very similar. This is kind of similar, the thoughts and the ideas of what they're doing is very similar to, kind of similar to what the Wyatt family did with their thoughts and ideas back in the day.
Yeah, and he was talking about the fact how we are the reckoning, I am the reckoning, and him and Uncle Howdy were like saying these things at the same time, and all of a sudden he disappears, and then Uncle Howdy's just standing there, and then the picture goes out. Yo, this shit was pretty good too. I like the last one the week before maybe a little more, but this is still good, and it was a great way to keep progressing the story.
Mm-hmm. One thing, I'll tell you what, one thing that has been progressing is the storyline between Seth Rollins and Damien Priest.
Oh yes, it is heating up big time, and the stakes are very high for this Saturday's championship match between the two. But also what's going on is further dissension between the Judgment Day, as him and Finn Balor had some words backstage when they were in the Judgment Day's locker room, where Finn Balor basically called out Damian Priest for what he said the week before in his promo, talking about how the Judgment Day needs him more than he needs the Judgment Day. And then Damian Priest is kind of trying to defend it, saying, of course you guys need me more. I'm the champion, just like we needed Rhea more when she was the main champion. But let's just say we all need each other.
Right. I'm kind of going to predict something's going to happen, but not now. We'll wait till later.
Yeah, and then Finn Balor told him straight up, like, yo, I love you, bro, but I have to be honest, since you won that title, you've changed. And then later on that night, Seth Rollins was out cutting a promo, but while he was cutting his promo, he was interrupted by Finn Balor talking about how the reason why Judgment Day is having problems and Judgment Day is having dissension is because of him. It's his fault. And then Rollins was like, nah, don't even blame me for all that. You should blame yourself for the fact that you're jealous because Damian Priest was able to win the title and you weren't.
Oh, low blow.
And then Damian Priest eventually did come out, and then he was walking into the ring at the same time Finn Balor was trying to walk into the ring, and then Seth Rollins saw it as like a setup. Damian Priest assures him that it's not a setup, and then he looks at Finn Balor and says, I don't need other people trying to handle my business for me. And then eventually Rollins and Finn Balor are getting into it, and then Finn Balor has the advantage, and he's knocking down Rollins and punching him and all that, and then he tries to get Damian Priest to join along with him, but he's not having any of it, and then Damian Priest and Finn Balor start arguing, and then Rollins super kicks them both at the same time. And then Rollins curb stomps Finn Balor, but then afterwards, as revenge, Damian Priest hits him with the South of Heaven. So from the way it's looking now with this segment, I think I know what's going to happen Saturday now, but we can get into that later.
There's going to be interference, though, but like we said, we'll get into it later.
Lots and lots of interference. But yes, I liked how this progressed. And also what I liked the progression of on Raw Monday was the Dominik and Liv Morgan storyline, where earlier in that same segment, Damian Priest was talking to Dominik and he asked him if he had spoken to Rhea, and then Dominik said, oh yeah, Rhea's fine, Rhea's good. And then Damian Priest dropped a bomb on him and said, that's funny because I just talked to Rhea and she's pissed.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dude.
And then Damian Priest is like kind of getting on Dominik's case, and Dominik's telling him like, yo, chill out. You're kind of trying to sound like my dad. And then he said that like in a very whispered voice, and then Damian Priest tried to call him out on it. And then when they walk into the dressing room, Liv Morgan is with them like playing the video games, and Liv Morgan's like, oh, I'll see you guys later. I'm going out for my title match. And then she like touches Dominik as she's like walking away. Yeah, it's now seeming like she's causing more dissension between not just Dominik with Judgment Day, but also the other members. It seems like Finn Balor and JD McDonough and Carlito seem to like her a lot.
Man. Tell you, man, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good, but I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait when Rhea Ripley comes back.
Yes, but what we did have was a women's title match on Raw Monday between Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega. This was a very good match. And there was also a lot of outside shenanigans from Dominik Mysterio, who had no business out there in the first place. And also his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio, he came out for the match too. And it's funny, Liv Morgan was like taunting Dominik throughout the match, and she did like the three amigos right in front of him at one point, and even did Rhea Ripley's finishing submission move right in front of him too. Yeah, she is with those mind games, son. She is like really getting in this dude's head.
For real.
And then there's this one point where Rey Mysterio shoves down Dominik, and then Liv does a baseball slide to Rey Mysterio to knock him down. And then as she's like hanging on the ropes, Zelina Vega hit her with a 619, which was a very impressive spot. This spot was very well done. And then she hit her with like a reverse DDT. And as they're both down, Dominik for some reason slides the chair to Zelina Vega, and then Zelina Vega notices this, and then she picks up the chair, and then she throws it into Dominik's face and knocks him off the apron. But this would be a huge distraction that would cause Zelina Vega, as Liv Morgan hit her with the Oblivion while she was distracted and got the pin and retained her title.
Wow.
But fun match, though. Fun match, and I like the shenanigans that they played along with it, too.
Tell me, man, Liv Morgan's been on the top of the world lately, though, because she recently she threw the first pitch at the Boston Red Sox game, like I think a few days ago.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did. She was also at the Bad Boys 4 premiere last month.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she was there. She has like a picture with Martin Lawrence.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, and then after the match was over, Liv Morgan was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and she said, "I want to dedicate my win to the most beautiful man in WWE, my daddy, Dominik Mysterio."
Oh man, you know what's so funny about that situation? Like just today, right? So Dominic
What?
posted a picture of his wife because apparently it was his wife's birthday today, and I'm literally reading all the comments. And I'm just seeing just bunch of Liv Morgan stuff on the comments, and I'm just this is funny.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't over, as later that night, Rey Mysterio and Dominik faced off for the first time on TV since WrestleMania last year. And as the
Wow.
match is going on, Liv Morgan makes her way out to ringside, and she's distracting Dominik, and Dominik is like telling her to get out of there and leave. And then Rey Mysterio drop kicks Dominik from behind, and then he falls on top of Liv Morgan, and he stays there for awfully a long time, more
Ooh.
time than he should have for a dude who's taken.
Right.
And it got to the point where like Liv Morgan was holding on to him so he couldn't get up. And then Rey Mysterio eventually interrupted all this, probably to Dominik's disappointment, but that's another story. And then Zelina Vega comes out to counterattack Liv Morgan. As Liv Morgan is on the apron to try to help Dominik win, she gets knocked off the apron by Zelina Vega, but when she gets knocked off the apron, Dominik falls onto the turnbuckle, and this would allow Rey Mysterio to hit him with the 619 from the turnbuckle side and a splash from the top rope to defeat his son. Again.
Wow. Mm,
Damn, Dominik is pointless against his dad in singles matches and tag matches.
I know. And you would think that Dominic will get the win this time, get some payback on him.
Unfortunately, Liv Morgan fucked it all up for him.
And like I said, man, it's heating up though. But like once Rhea Ripley comes back, it's a wrap. It's not going to be pretty.
I'll say this much. This storyline with Liv Morgan is far more interesting and doing a lot better for her than that storyline she was doing with Lana, Rusev, and Bobby Lashley a couple years ago.
Oh man, how could? Oof. That's so bad. I completely forgot about that one.
Ugh, yeah, that whole thing was a mess. That like I said, that 2019 period of WWE was so bad.
It's been that long. It's been 5 years. That's how long ago it was.
It was like the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. It went on for like a month, and then all of a sudden, Rusev was never on TV in WWE again.
Wow.
Another story for
Oh
another
man.
time. Yeah, but I like how this storyline's been heating up. I didn't mind them not having the match with Money in the Bank. It would have been cool if they had it on there, but just even having it on TV was more than enough. And yeah, I'm liking
Hmm.
where this is going. I'm really liking where this is gonna end up.
Same here.
And also, Drew
And then
McIntyre. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. That last piece of the puzzle for Money in the Bank, we had our final qualifying match for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which that was between Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and
Ilya Dragunov.
yeah, and then yeah, triple threat match to determine who would be have that final spot in that ladder match. And yes, Kurt, you're right. Yep, Drew McIntyre won the match as we pretty much predicted. I wanted to see Drew McIntyre in that match, and he still has CM Punk's bracelet.
What I like the most, other than him winning the match, which I predicted, is that promo he did earlier in the show where he was talking about how he's gonna win Money in the Bank and run through everybody, and he said, "If you don't believe me, ask the last person who got in my way." Oh, that's right,
Oh,
you can't.
okay,
Oh shit!
okay.
I just remember him saying that, and I just said to myself, "Oh my god, John probably lost his mind when he heard that."
Oh no, no, no! I'm not. No, I'm not because something's gonna happen, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, it probably will, but yo, I'm loving this. And he won in a good match too. That triple threat was a good match with him, Sheamus, and Ilya Dragunov. And
Yeah.
also the other day was
Mhm.
Sheamus' 15-year anniversary of his debut on the main roster.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
I know we weren't watching anymore by that point, but yes, it's crazy
Yeah.
how far Sheamus went up in that like first year. Like he won the title by the end of the
Yeah.
year. Like that December, he won the title from Cena.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hmm.
And he put Mark Cuban through a table.
Yeah.
I guess Mark Cuban turned down his business idea and he was getting payback. I wonder if he went after the other Shark Tank people also for that shit.
Oh Lord. Yeah, but there you have it though. But Kurt, are you ready for our predictions?
We got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? We got money in the bank. Shorty, what you think? Yo, I'm telling you, they gotta get that song as a theme song of that show one of these years. And have Lil Scrappy make a comeback and come perform it.
Oh God.
Shit. Old school. But yes, let us break down this sexy ass card for Money in the Bank.
5 matches.
Yes, it will once again be a 5-match show. Less is more, but I'm not complaining from the last few shows we've gotten. So let's break down those 5 matches we have for you this Saturday. In the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre.
You know what? There's going to be so much chaos in this match and so much interference in this match. So I'm going to start with LA Knight. I loved how the LA Knight and Logan Paul thing went down. You know what I mean? They're going to be feuding. They're going to have a match at SummerSlam. I know for a fact Logan Paul is going to cost LA Knight this match, which is going to set their feud more going in later on. And as far as Drew McIntyre, this whole thing, this CM Punk and Drew McIntyre it's really just ignited even further. And yes, CM Punk will be there and he's going to cost Drew McIntyre that match. But as far as the winner goes, Jey Uso is going to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
I want to go on record and I will say that I think he will win too. But there's another scenario that could play out. Punk could cost Drew the Money in the Bank match, or Drew could end up winning the Money in the Bank contract, try to cash it in later that night, and then Punk screws him there. Regardless, Drew's getting screwed by CM Punk again, one way or another. He's getting screwed.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I'm picking Jey Uso, though.
Okay, yeah, I'll pick Jey Uso, too. He's kind of not been on TV as much the last few weeks.
Yeah, I saw a funny little video. Like, he was hiding when a Wyatt Sicks shows up. Like, he'll hide under the ring.
Yeah.
I saw like a little clip of that. I thought that was funny, though. But
oh, yeah, because he took Bray Wyatt's entrance with, like, the fireflies and stuff. He was like, you know what? I don't want the smoke. I'm good. No, thank you. I want no parts of these dudes.
Exactly.
But one way or another, Drew McIntyre's night is going to be ruined by CM Punk. And that will further along their match for SummerSlam and definitely one of the best feuds going into it.
Yes. And then from there, we're going on to our second ladder match. It'll be the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It'll be between EL Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton.
Lyra Valkyria.
Right. Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark.
I think I have Tiffany Stratton winning. I think Tiffany Stratton's winning.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Say Tiffany Stratton as well.
Chelsea Green has a chance. She is from Canada. I think she'll get a crazy-ass reaction. But if I had to bet on it, I would go with Tiffany Stratton.
Same.
But who knows? Maybe Naomi might surprise us. Because Naomi and Bayley have been kind of like buddy-buddy lately, but Naomi hasn't shied away from the fact that she would want a future title shot. So anything's possible.
True. Anything's always possible in this business. You know what I mean? So,
except Vince McMahon ever coming back.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but then from there, we will have our third match, last chance match for World Heavyweight Championship, Kurt. Damien Priest versus Seth Rollins. And remember, guys, the stipulation. If Priest wins, Rollins will never challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion. But if Seth Rollins wins, Damien Priest must leave the Judgment Day.
I think on Saturday night, we are going to hear Samantha Irvin announce, ladies and gentlemen, the winner and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins.
And you know
Get
what?
ready to hear it, bro. Get ready to hear it.
I think Finn Balor is going to interfere.
And he's going to screw Damian Priest and cost him his title. Yep, it's happening.
Yeah.
It is happening.
Okay.
What I said last week is going to happen. Rollins is going to win the title, and it's him and Gunther at SummerSlam. Because I told you, I feel like Rollins and Gunther is more of a SummerSlam title match than
unless they did a triple threat match.
Nah, but I think it should say Rollins and Gunther. I think that's a better idea to go with.
I know, but then I was thinking about the triple threat, but then, lately the whole tension between Finn Balor and Damian Priest and the whole Judgment Day, it's just kind of like, just throw like a monkey in a wrench with everything. Probably going to get Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam.
Yeah, so the way that's looking, we're probably going to get that. And since Gunther's the number one contender for the title, I just see Rollins winning the belt and the two of them facing off for it at SummerSlam.
Oof.
And I'm cool with that. I have no complaints of either one of these scenarios. Finn and Damien, and also Rollins and Gunther. It's a win-win.
True.
But it's going to be sad that Damian Priest will be done with Judgment Day. Crazy. He was like one of the founding members, like when Edge first started it, and now he's leaving.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a little bit sad that when he loses the title, because like you have that monumental win at WrestleMania, and he had a great match against Drew McIntyre, Clash of the Castle. That was his best title defense, hands down. So, yeah, it is going to be sad though. But hey, it will pay off when he finally has that closure with Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Like I said, we have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and too bad Damian Priest actually missed the Madison Square Garden SmackDown last Friday. He was supposed to work the dark match against Jey Uso for the title, but he missed. But he had flight troubles.
Yeah, oh man, it sucks.
Maybe Liv Morgan had something to do with that. But wait a minute. One more thing about that match between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. It's funny that Rollins 10 years ago left the Shield, and now he's getting Damian Priest stipulation-wise to leave Judgment Day.
Yeah. Yep. And Seth Rollins had some success at this event. He won the Money in the Bank 10 years ago.
2014, yes, he did.
Yeah, and it's been 10 years. He won the title. He had a title like briefly just for like a few minutes when he beat Roman Reigns in 2016.
And then he had that great match with AJ Styles in 2019. For as horrible of a year that was a good match on that show.
Gotcha. Now, this next match right here, this is something I've been looking forward to. This is a wild card match. This is a match that could sneak up on all of us now, because this one is for the Intercontinental title. This is between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I love that face off they had this past Monday on Raw, man, because Braun Breaker was running out there about the spear Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn jumps up and then Braun Breaker hits the steel steps. Yeah,
and the camera angle they got of that was great when they showed it from like a far distance, and you see him like running.
I love that camera angle.
And you see him like just sprinting around the ring trying to do the spear, but then Sami Zayn gets out of the way. And then when they get back in the ring, Sami Zayn tries to hit him with the Haluva kick, but then Braun Breaker spears his ass. Ooh. A lot of people say that's probably one of the best spears in wrestling.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm picking Braun Breaker to win this match.
I think it's going to be a disputed finish. There's going to be some kind of disqualification, or maybe Sami Zayn does win, but like barely wins. He like kind of wins like with a roll up or something. But Braun Breaker gets the Intercontinental title, I think, at some point, but I think it will be next month at SummerSlam and not here.
Okay, we'll see, but I'm sticking to mine. I feel like Braun Breaker, this is his chance, so we'll see what happens. But I'm picking him. I'm loving what they're doing with this guy right now. So
yeah, that dude's a killer. You do not want to fuck with Mr. Braun Breaker. And I really enjoyed the episode of the Steiner Brothers A&E documentary. I watched that last night. They get like into their background, how like they went to the University of Michigan. The thing was, their dad was so strict on them when they were kids that by the time they got to college, when they went to the University of Michigan, they fucking wilded out.
Ooh, I mean that happens. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because like their college friends they were interviewing for, and they were talking about them when they were in college, and yeah, they were saying they were wild boys, son. Yeah, and it's funny, yeah, like Rick Steiner initially got into wrestling, but then Scott Steiner like eventually joined them later on. And then yeah, they
Hmm.
both became a tag team. And they talked about like their time in WCW and how they would like always pull pranks on people. But the thing was they would fuck you up so badly, and they could fuck you up so badly that nobody ever complained.
Crazy.
Yeah, then eventually they went to WWE, and that didn't really last very long. They didn't really make the money they were promised they were going to make. Then they went to Japan for a while. Yeah, their style fit in Japan perfectly. Ooh,
Hmm.
can imagine the matches they had there.
Wow.
I remember in WWE they swapped the titles with Money Inc. like 3 times in 1 week.
Really?
Yeah, the day after the '93 King of the Ring, they beat Money Inc. for the tag titles. Then 2 nights later, Money Inc. beat them back for the tag titles. Then 3 nights later, they beat Money Inc. again for the tag titles.
Wow.
They talk about like when they went back to WCW like in '96. Yeah, they were really cooking during that period. I remember they were like really popping. They like were a huge threat to the NWO, like Hall and Nash at the time.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the NWO actually crashed their car once.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, they flipped their car over 3 times.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. That was
Fuck,
crazy.
man. Yeah, they
Wow.
were two of the few believable teams like to step up against them. And I just like noticed during that period, especially Scott Steiner was getting a lot bigger and his hair was changing. And this would ultimately lead to the night when Scott Steiner eventually turned on him and then joined the NWO.
Damn.
Oh, fuck, that's crazy. The Steiners and the Road Warriors broke up within 1 day of each other.
Really?
Because yeah, the Steiners broke up with that Super Brawl 8, like in February of '98. Then the next night on Raw, they had that split up of Hawk and Animal when they lost the tag title match to the Outlaws, and they got into a fight afterwards, and they got into a fight backstage that had to be separated. Yeah, those both happened within 1 day of each other.
Mm. You know what? That's funny you mentioned Super Bowl because I just read a report earlier today that the WWE got pretty much purchased the rights for that name.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's crazy. Like when he turned on his brother Rick and joined the NWO, that's how Big Papa Pump was first born.
Gotcha.
That's when he first changed his hair, changed his look, and everything. Yeah, that was the beginnings of Big Papa Pump. Was that?
Wow.
It sucked that like eventually by the time he became a main eventer in WCW, that's when like WCW was sucking and WCW was like on its last legs. And then by the time he won the title, they were pretty much out of business. And then he lost it on the last Nitro. And then when he went to WWE, he was super injured. Like he had a leg injury and like he couldn't perform the same. And yeah, that run just ended up being a huge letdown. But it started off so promising. It started off so fucking promising. And then just from that Royal Rumble match on, it just was not the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. I remember that, vividly, and on paper it seemed like it was a good fit, feuding him with Triple H, but it just didn't work out. And then I remember they did the whole love triangle between him, Stacy Keibler, and Tess. And after that, he, wasn't heard from him again. He got released after that. So
Yeah, it's too bad, man. But I like that they got into the Hall of Fame a few years ago, and I like the work that Bron Breaker's been
yeah,
doing since his time in
yeah,
NXT.
yeah, yeah, paying off, man. I hope it will. Yeah, let's hope it. I hope it pays off for him this Saturday. So,
Even though he's Rick Steiner's son, he reminds me so much of his uncle.
on to our fifth and final match, and this is a six-man tag team match. It will be between the team of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. And here's the crazy part: it could be any of the three. We don't know who. You could be Solo Sikoa, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, or Jacob Fatu. I'm predicting Jacob Fatu will be in there.
Yeah, I think so. I think whether or not this match goes on last will tell us whether or not Roman will be returning.
Yeah, I mean, look, they said. I mean, look, a couple weeks ago they predicted or they said rumored that Roman Reigns was going to turn around July, that mid July time, right? But then with with his father passing away, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I figure with his dad dying, it's probably going to be a little
Right.
longer. So I don't think this match goes on last in that sense. It probably won't go on
Mhm.
last. If it does go on last, then I think he comes back. But if it doesn't go on last, he's obviously not coming back yet. So if it doesn't go on last, which I think it won't, I predict a Bloodline win where Solo gets the pin on Cody Rhodes, which will set up Cody and Solo for the championship at SummerSlam.
Okay. If that match does not go on last, which match will?
Maybe the men's Money in the Bank,
Okay.
or the title match, or the Rollins and Damien Priest title match, one or the other.
Oh yeah. You know what? If the world heavyweight title match goes on last, you definitely know the title's switching hands.
Oh, definitely. This is going to be
Yeah.
Vengeance 2002 all over again.
You said that. Yeah, you said it a couple episodes ago. Man, it's you know what? I think the Bloodline is going to win this match. If they're going to have Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes for the title at SummerSlam, you got to make Solo Sikoa more serious since he wants to be the so-called tribal chief, take the place of Roman Reigns, right? You got to take him seriously and you got to put heat on him. So, yeah, you need to let the Bloodline win this match.
I believe they will, especially considering the momentum they have right now. And the angle they did on SmackDown last week where they put out Heyman, yeah, they're on a tear right now. They are on a tear. I remember thinking like about a month or so ago, this storyline was getting stale. But within this last week or two, damn, did it fucking heat up, son.
Especially with Jacob Fatu in the mix now. Oh my God. And that presentation. That's the one thing I forgot to mention about, from SmackDown last Friday. I love the presentation they gave Jacob Fatu. I love the nickname Samoan Werewolf. That is intimidating, man. That is a moneymaker right there. Love that. He already has the t-shirt and everything, man. I love it.
And also what I like what they did on Friday on SmackDown was the tribute they did for Sika. That was also very nice.
Oh, yeah. That was nice. I love that too. Yep. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our predictions for Money in the Bank. And again, this Saturday, 5 p.m. from Toronto, Canada. It's going to be a great show. Toronto is one of the best wrestling cities ever, so it's always a blast when they're always in Canada. So I can't wait for that.
It's funny. I came across earlier some certain facts about Money in the Bank. I think I shared it with you earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny that this whole thing started like at WrestleMania 21 as like just a stipulation match they would have on the show. And they had it as like a part of WrestleMania for the first few years, and now it's like morphed into its like own PLE. And it's like honestly in many ways considered one of the big four more than Survivor Series is a part of the big four.
True. And I'm actually proud to say I actually went and attended a Money in the Bank pay-per-view event in person 2016.
Crazy how long this concept has been around for. And of all people, John Cena was the very first person to unsuccessfully cash it in.
That was in 2012. That was weird. That was a weird one because like he won it and then like what it was like the next night he wanted to cash it in or something like that. That was weird.
Well, he won it.
Didn't wait.
He won it, then he cashed it in for the following week for the Raw 1000 against Punk, and then it ended in a disqualification.
Oh yeah, the following week.
And that was the night that Punk turned heel and attacked The Rock.
Speaking of CM Punk, he is the only superstar to win the Money in the Bank twice, 2 years in a row, 2008, 2009. That 2008 one was my favorite. And the cash in 2008 was my favorite. That was my all-time favorite. But just how the way he did it and then just the reaction that he got. And, when he did it, I was just jumping up for joy.
The anniversary of that was actually the other day on Sunday, June 30th.
Yeah. Yep.
His 2009 cash-in was also good, but the feud that came after it was the real gold.
True. That is true. His feud with Jeff Hardy was good.
And the person who held the Money in the Bank contract the longest before they cashed it in was actually Carmella, the first woman to ever win it.
287 days.
And I believe every single woman who's won Money in the Bank has cashed it in for the title.
Successfully.
Yeah, there's not been one woman who's failed to cash it in and win the belt.
It says here 3 superstars have cashed in on the same night they won the contract. Kane back in 2010, Alexa Bliss in 2018, and Bailey in 2019.
Yeah, the Alexa Bliss one was a little weird because she had like just lost the title to Nia Jax after being champion for a year. So I figured they were like moving on from her. And then she won the Money in the Bank that night, which I was surprised by. Also, a funny story about that Money in the Bank involving Mercedes Mone, which I'll get into in a few minutes. Then, like an hour later, during the Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey match, she ended up cashing it in on Nia Jax to get the belt back, and then that would set up the match between her and Ronda for SummerSlam. Yeah, that one was a little strange, but whatever, it is what it is. And the Bailey one I liked, but the thing was the Bailey one didn't really pay off right away. It was still a few months until she like officially turned, and then I had that great run with like the role models with Sasha and all that stuff. But that night she cashed it in was really cool though too. Especially considering that she had been on the downswing for a while. I felt like that was a nice rebound for her. But I would say the worst Money in the Bank out of all of them they've done, the worst Money in the Bank winner, I would have to say is Otis because they didn't do shit with him. And not to mention the fact that it was at the headquarters, that weird ass headquarters Money in the Bank, the COVID one.
I never watched that one, and that was the weirdest thing they ever did.
I did.
Weird. I know it was because of COVID was going on, but man, that was so weird. I just saw clips of it. I was like, what are they doing, man? Oh, big head scratcher, man.
Yeah, and then the next night, Asuka ended up getting the title because Becky announced that she was pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the way that Otis one ended was so stupid. Like the briefcase just like fell out of the sky and then it just fell into his hands. I'm like, why are you fucking kidding me? Shit is mad whack, son. Mad whack, son. But it is what it is. Shit happens. That was just a bad time. And then the year before, the ending of the men's one was also pretty bad. When like Mustafa Ali like had the briefcase in his hands, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar's music hits, and then he just like stands there and waits for Brock Lesnar to come out. And I'm like, bro, you had the briefcase in your hand, just grab it and get the fuck out of there.
That was a weird one too.
But I feel like as far as Money in the Banks go, as far as like the show that's probably regarded as the GOAT is the 2011 show.
Knew you were going to say that one.
Yeah, the fact that it was in Chicago, and not even just the fact of the Punk and Cena match was great, by the way. The rest of the show was also solid.
Randy Orton versus Christian.
Yeah, that match was good. Also, both Money in the Bank matches were good. Yeah, that was a good ass show. The 2011 Money in the Bank show that was voted the best show from that whole year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, not a surprise there.
Yeah, I wasn't watching at the time, but yeah, other than The Rock coming back, the one thing that saved WWE that year was the whole Punk run that went down that summer.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was some good shit. But another good Money in the Bank show I know you were there for live was the 2016 show.
Yes. That ending. Well, you know what? Other than the main event, I think the other diamond in a rough that night was John Cena versus AJ Styles.
I actually got to see that match live the following month when I went to that house show at Madison Square Garden. That was one of the main events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? It's so weird with Cena back then. When he would wrestle in New York at a house show, they would cheer for him because when I was at that house show at the Garden, they were cheering for Cena. But then when he wrestled AJ the next month at SummerSlam at the Barclays Center, they booed him.
That is weird. Wow. Kind of big difference between the Brooklyn crowd and the Garden crowd, huh, Kurt?
It's not even that. It's the house show crowd and the pay-per-view crowd.
True. Wow.
Yeah, it surprised me to see how much the people like Cena like when I was there at the Garden. I'm like, bro, this is New York. I thought they hated him here.
Right. That was a great night. I was very proud to be part of that. So
it would have been nice to be there too, but I could not miss that Game 7 between the Cavs and the Warriors. I could not miss that for anything.
Funny story about that. I forgot what match it was, but I could hear a lot of cheers in the crowd once once Cleveland won that game.
Fucking crazy, man. Yeah, what a crazy ass night.
Yeah, you knew like there were fans out there, on their phones, watching Game 7 as well. So I heard some cheers in the crowd. And I think when I went back and watched it, on video or whatever, on I think Michael Cole had mentioned it like briefly about it. So yeah, but that was a crazy day though, and it was on Father's Day.
Yes, it was. That night I'll never forget. June 19th, 2016. Yeah, that was definitely one night to remember.
Wow.
With the Rollins beating Roman for the title,
Ooh,
and then Dean Ambrose cashing in on him right after to
right.
win the title.
That crowd went crazy. That crowd went crazy.
Yeah, all three members of the Shield held the title within 5 minutes of each other.
Crazy.
Yeah, and also another good show was the 2021 show.
Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, wasn't that the first. Well, I mean, outside of WrestleMania, that was the first event they had with the fans.
First PLE with the fans back, other than WrestleMania that year. That was like the first one back.
Yeah, outside of WrestleMania. Yeah, that was a good show, and that Roman Reigns versus Edge match was really good.
Not to mention Cena coming back at the end of it. That shit was also nuts.
Yeah.
Also, Big E winning Money in the Bank. Yeah, Big E winning Money in the Bank. Also, that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley match in that show was good too. Where at the beginning of the match, Charlotte flipped off the audience for chanting "We want Becky."
You know what? I remember that.
Shit. Yeah, she was not having any of that shit. And also, another good show was last year's. I really enjoyed last year's too.
Oh yeah, last year was good.
Yeah, the Rollins and Finn Balor match was fun. The main event was great with the tribal warfare with the Usos, Roman and Solo, where Jey Uso pinned Roman. Yo, that shit was crazy.
Oh man, and you know what is funny? That was the first and only Money in the Bank event held outside the U.S.
Yes, it was.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Well, North America. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Because they're Canada's still part of North America continent, but you get my meaning though. But still,
And that was like a star-making performance for Jey Uso in that match. And now 1 year later, he's on the
that
verge
would
of
really got him over the hump. Yeah,
now 1 year later, he's on the verge of being Mr. Money in the Bank.
yeah. I can
Yes,
see
it
it, man. I'm
happened.
predicting it. Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, but before we move on, I want to ask you a question. What's your favorite men's cash in, and what's your favorite women's cash in?
Ooh, damn it, damn it, damn it. Ah, that's a tough one, man. That's between CM Punk from 2008 and Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 31.
Interesting. Okay.
Damn it, I can't pick because I was like, see, for Rollins, it was like more history making because you did it at WrestleMania. Nobody ever done that before. You know what I mean? And CM Punk because I was such a huge fan of him and it came unexpectedly. And I was just so happy for him. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's between those two. What about yours?
Oh, this is so tough.
I know you're gonna say Edge. One of them.
Um,
His first one. His first.
I wanted to, but I gotta go with WrestleMania 31 with Rollins because I was there for it, and it was at WrestleMania too.
Ah, I see. I see.
But one honorable mention I have to point out was the Dolph Ziggler one the night after WrestleMania 29.
Oh yeah, that was that.
That shit was
Yeah,
electric. Shit was electric.
yeah.
That was better than anything on WrestleMania the night before.
What about for the women?
For the women,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't Nikki Ash. Oh, you forgot about that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of forget that 2022 was in Vegas again.
Oh yeah, it was. It was in Vegas. Also, that was a good cash in the Liv Morgan one on Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising but good. But I would say as far as the women, if I had to pick one, I'll probably pick the first one, Carmella. I'll pick that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that one was very well done. She held it for a really long time. And the Iconics made their debut when they attacked Charlotte, and then right after that, Carmella picked up the pieces and won it.
I want to say EO Skies from last year.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
And the fact that she had that reunion with Damage Control, you saw what happened the year prior at SummerSlam, and to see that was special. So
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, it was dope. I kind of
yeah,
felt bad for Bianca because she had that knee injury in the match, and then she just won
yeah,
the
I
title
remember
despite
that.
that, and then
I
she got
remember that.
cashed in on right afterwards.
Yeah, I remember that.
Damn. All right, but yes, we have Money in the Bank this coming Saturday from Toronto. Glad it's starting at a normal time for a change, and yo, I cannot
Woo!
wait, son.
God.
But what we did have this past Sunday was AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view taking place from Long Island, New York at the UBS Arena. And yo, the show got a lot of good reviews. Like,
I
despite
heard.
the fact that AEW's weekly shows aren't really that consistent these days, and the product itself I haven't been as interested in, they still put on quality pay-per-views. You have to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
And bro, including the pre-show, there was 15 matches on this whole damn thing.
Jesus. Was it still a long show?
Yeah. What the highlights of it were Jack Perry winning the TNT Championship in a multi-person ladder match, Mercedes Mone defeating Stephanie Vacour in a title unification match to unify both the TBS title and the New Japan Strong Women's title. But she did not have a lot of time to celebrate as she was raising both belts up. Dr. Britt Baker made her surprise return to interrupt.
Wow. Feud coming. I love it.
Ooh, yes. This is great. Dr. Britt, she's been gone for almost a year or so now. It's been a hot minute since we've seen her. I actually forgot to mention her on the show last week. But yeah, it's great to see her back. Her and Mercedes is definitely a money feud. That is a money feud.
Definitely. This will definitely lit a fire under her. And you know what? Mercedes Moné needs this. So this is really good for the women's division as well.
And Dr. Britt is going to kill her on promos, though. The matches are going to be great, but as far as promos go, Britt Baker is going to own her, son. She's going to own her.
Can't wait for that.
But congrats to Mercedes for unifying both titles. She did get booed a lot because of the fact that she's a big Boston Celtics fan and they were in New York. And there was like a fuck the Celtics chant, I think, throughout the match, too.
Are you for real?
I am for real. Yeah, but in the main event, Swerve Strckland retained the AEW World Championship against Will Ospreay in a great, incredible match. And what many people are saying is Swerve Strickland's best match ever. And yo, I'm happy with this. And I'm even happier with the fact that I found out that this was Will Ospreay's idea to lose to Swerve Strckland in this match. It was his idea.
Yeah, I read about that too.
Because apparently he wanted to shut down all that talk about Swerve Strickland being a placeholder for him whenever he gets the title. So he wanted to make sure that he gave him a great match and lost to him in the strongest way possible. And yo, I fucks with that. Stand-up guy.
Yeah, that's good for him. Shut down the critics like that.
Yeah, so Swerve really is that guy now. Like if there was any doubt before, there's definitely no doubt anymore. I feel like this was his Triple H and Cactus Jack Royal Rumble 2000 match moment.
Got you.
Where there was like doubts of Triple H of whether or not he was like the main guy or if you could buy him in that role. After that match, those doubts were put to bed.
I love how they both, like hugged it out at the end of the match.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was a good look.
Yeah.
One person who could be in AEW soon is Ricochet, as his contract with WWE just expired the other day, and it's been reported that he is more than likely going to show up in AEW.
Yeah, I read about that, and not a surprise here. I mean, he has so much potential, still have a lot in him. So, going to AEW is, if that's the best route for him, more power to him.
Yeah, I hope it all works out for him. I could see him and Will Ospreay facing each other maybe at Wembley Stadium at All In. That's definitely a huge possibility. I'll definitely buy the show just for that alone.
Right.
Mercedes Mone was making the media rounds last week and specifically on Hot 97 promoting Forbidden Door. And she was talking about like various different things about like, how there were like maybe two different people in WWE she didn't want to work with. and how, like, she kind of knew ahead of time if she was working with them that she wouldn't be able to get a lot out of them. But now in AEW, she doesn't really have that problem because of the kind of talent they have there compared to when she was in WWE.
Got you.
Interesting thing to say. And they try to ask her who she was referring to, but she wouldn't reveal it.
No. Good job. Good. Don't do that.
They were trying to suggest that it was Carmella, but she said, no, me and Carmella had great matches, which I agree with. They did. Like in late 2020, they did. I would say if I had to take a guess, it's probably maybe Lacey Evans and probably Shotzi. Her and Shotzi, I remember their chemistry wasn't really the best. And she was also talking about, like, her last straw for why she left WWE. And this is basically what she had to say. There are so many reasons. The biggest thing was listening to my heart and soul. Something didn't feel right that day. How we were talked to didn't settle in my heart. I just instantly knew if I wasn't going to take control of my life right here and now, then I was never going to be happy there by having someone talk to me the way they do or feeling like you don't belong. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me considering the old regime that used to exist there.
True. And that's the thing. We were hoping that she would have came back, with Vince McMahon gone, and things would have been written differently for her that would have worked better for her. You know what I mean? But but she decided not to come back, and hey, that's her decision.
She seems like she's doing well so far, despite all the internet fans always shitting on her. I feel like a lot of the ways that the fans shit on her is like so wrapped in like personal feelings that they fail to like really recognize, how good she really is. Because I say that you don't really have to maybe like her as a person, and maybe you could be turned off by her, but you can't deny her talent and what she has to offer.
No doubt.
Yeah, there's plenty of like rappers, plenty of athletes, plenty of musicians that are talented as fuck. And even if I may not like them as people and maybe turned out by their personalities, I'll never deny how talented they are at what they do. But one thing Mercedes did bring up in one of these recent interviews was the fact that Tony Khan has given her creative control.
That is good.
Is it?
I mean, all creative control? I mean...
Because if you think of like Hogan in the WCW days...
I mean, now I don't think Mercedes Mone ego is like Hulk Hogan's now. Like, I don't know. That's yet to be...
I'm not saying it is. And yeah, for all we know, she'll be really, generous with her creative control and use it to help others as opposed to just helping herself. We don't know that for sure. Only time will tell with her running AEW. The thing is, having a talent with creative control does create a conflict of interest. Just like having a talent like in a position of like being a vice president also creates a conflict of interest. We've talked about this before with like the whole Young Bucks being EVPs, and not to mention, like Hogan was in WCW, among other people, with the creative control and the amount of power they held, it does create a conflict of interest. But
true.
Only time will tell whether or not it'll happen in this case.
We'll see what's going to happen. Like I said, hopefully what she does will help others, but is yet to be seen. So.
Yeah, and then also in one of these interviews, she was revealing the fact that at Money in the Bank, like in 2018, from the way she was describing it, that she like bitched out her husband for the outfit he made for her.
Really?
Yeah, because the outfit came out so bad, like according to her, that like she just screamed, yelled at him, bitched at him, and like really made him feel bad.
Damn, what happened after that?
I don't know. I don't know exactly. I don't know if they kissed and made up afterwards or whatever. And in all honesty, I don't even know if her and her husband are still together.
Wow.
I haven't really heard much of them or like her even mentioning him in a long time.
I know, I haven't either.
Yeah, I mean, she's very private in that sense anyway. So even if they did break up, I don't expect her to really reveal it. Because she was even talking about like the details of her WWE exit. Like, if you want to know about it, you have to wait for my book to come out. Yeah, that's one story I want to know about. And also I want to know why she missed SummerSlam 2021. Like, if I were ever to read her book, those would be like the two main things I'd be looking for to find out.
That's a very interesting thing to hear about.
Yeah, but she's had 2 home run matches at back-to-back pay-per-views so far. So, yeah, the Mercedes Mone stock in AEW is looking high so far.
Oh, it's going to get higher now. It's definitely going to get higher now.
Her and Britt Baker is a money feud, and I'm happy that she's back. Yeah, she was really
Yes.
missed.
And yes, this is going to benefit the women's division, Kurt. That's the biggest thing.
And another person who could potentially show up in AEW soon is Natalia because apparently she hasn't been at TV the last couple of TVs, and her contract is apparently up, and it still has not been renewed.
Hmm.
She could sign a new deal, but WWE and like TKO have been like kind of weird lately with like letting people's contracts expire and not renegotiating with them. So who knows? Natty could be done.
Wow. Okay, we'll have to see.
I don't know if she will actually leave, but considering that Adam Copeland left last year when we never thought he would leave and he would be a lifer, anything is possible.
True.
But if she ends up leaving, she had a great run there. She definitely was a very valuable part of that women's division, and she'll be a valuable part of any women's division she ends up joining if she ends up leaving. And before we get out of here, let me send my congratulations to Angelo Dawkins as he married his longtime girlfriend this week.
Oh, yeah, he got married. Nice. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, Montez Ford officiated the wedding too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, good shit. Congratulations to the man. And they're expecting a child too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, good shit. But we have Money in the Bank this coming Saturday. It is going to be popping. One of my favorite shows of the whole year. And looking forward to watching it at a decent hour.
Yes, same here. And the fact that's in Toronto, oh my God, I'm going to go ahead and say I think best Toronto pay-per-view 2006 Unforgiven.
I knew you were going to say that. I shared a list. I think I shared a list with you of the best pay-per-views from WWE in the 2000s, and for 2006 it was Unforgiven.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta watch that pay-per-view again, dude. I love that show. Oh, it's crazy. The last premium live event in Toronto was SummerSlam 2019.
That's true. Oh shit!
Wow.
Before the pandemic.
I was over at your house watching it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's SummerSlam. The one with the Fiend debut with the Charlotte and Trish Stratus match.
Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, and also the Rollins and Brock Lesnar match was good too, the main event.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, but yes, Money in the Bank this Saturday. Toronto is going to be popping. I don't think Drake should show up because even in Toronto, I think he'll still get booed out of the building.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
I saw this clip the other day.
We just need to...
I saw the other day this clip of him like getting pissed off at these like fans who were jamming to "They Not Like Us."
You can't escape. It's everywhere.
Bro.
Can't.
My 11-year-old nephew and his friends know all the words to that song from start to finish.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and hell, Taraji P. Henson did a remix of it at the BET Awards.
Oh, you did? Oh, she did? Funny.
Yeah. It's About Us. That was the remix of it. It's About Us. All right, but yes, Money in the Bank. Toronto's going to be popping. WWE has a strong history of putting on solid PLEs in Toronto from WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 18, Unforgiven 2006. Yeah, they've had a lot of good ones out there.
Oh, man, I love Canada.
Yeah, me too. Especially the women. I think I'm going to find my wife in Canada, not in the States.
Good Lord. Yeah, do that once you move to New York, so you just drive up there.
Yeah. Maybe I could meet my Trish Stratus. That's why Trish Stratus is so fucking nice. She's from Canada.
Great.
All right, but in any event, until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Take care. Happy 4th of July weekend if you celebrate that holiday at all.
Oh, yes. Forgot about that. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Stay safe, and please be careful with the fireworks. People are, they're not that safe with the fireworks, man. In the hospital and all that stuff, and just be careful with the fireworks, guys.
And keep your pets inside. Keep your pets inside because 4th of July is like the day where the most pets go missing.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Keep your pets safe.
Yeah. Dogs and cats hate fireworks. They fucking hate fireworks. So keep them inside at all times.
But yeah, enjoy your 4th of July, ladies and gentlemen, with your family and your friends, and take care. God bless, and always be cool.
Also, happy Essence Music Festival weekend too.
When is that?
It's a huge music festival they have every year in New Orleans. You've seen the movie Girls Trip, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
That's the festival they have.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just didn't know when is it though. That's the thing.
It's 4th of July weekend every year.
Okay.
Yeah, so happy Essence Music Festival weekend. Happy Money in the Bank weekend. Happy 4th of July. If you celebrate 4th of July, I think I'll celebrate by doing Beyond Burgers and a Rocky Marathon.
Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Probably gonna go over. I don't know. Probably go over. Probably like to one of the hotels and watch some fireworks with my girlfriend and her friends, maybe. So
All right, so enjoy you guys this weekend. Take care. Have a good one. And remember, most of all, don't be an asshole in real life or social media because that shit is for the
it's for the birds,
birds.
ladies and gentlemen. Take care.
And always be cool.